Quick Dick McDick Productions presents Little Quicks 4, An Ode to Oats, Part 2.
Quick Dick McDick coming to you from Saskatchewan here today with our second part of Little Quicks 4, An Ode to Oats. Now, if you remember last time on Little Quicks, we were cooking with Quick Dick, where we were learning how to make pumpkin pie overnight oats. But then we took a little break to see where oats come from. We went from step 1, the farmer, remember that guy? To step 2, the trucker. Oh, hey, Blue Ball! And then we wound up at this cool place called Grain Millers in Yorkton with a load of oats out of the field on Blue Ball. If you missed it, go back and watch Little Quicks 4 episode 1 first, then come back to this one. For those of you Little Quicks that were with us, let's pick up right where we left off at Grain Millers in Yorkton. Have fun! But if we want to see what happens to oats to get prepared for us to eat right here in Saskatchewan, we just go an hour down the highway to Yorkton and we unload them at Grain Millers. Let's go check it out. This is a big place. All right, first things first, let's go unload. So once we unload the oats, they get legged up into one of these big bins, and then they come out the bottom and get drug over into the mill. Let's go have a look.
Step 3, milling.
First things first, if we're going to go into a food facility, we need to wear PPE, hairnet, bump cap, smock, and a beard net. Okay, these are not made for beards the size of Quick Dick, so I've fashioned a hairnet into a beard net. Let's go!
This is the control room with a bunch of fancy computers in it.
So the controller tells the oats where to go, and they come down into a room like this where they start getting cleaned and sorted. Look at all this fancy stuff! They even go through a fancy machine like this that sorts them out by their color and reflection. So once the oats are cleaned and sorted, they come down into de-hullers. Do you remember when Quick Dick mentioned hulls earlier in the video? Well, that's because oats have a thing called a hull on the outside of them, while these things take them off for us. So you see, our oats started with these hulls on them, but now they're gone and they just look like this. So now we take our hulled oats and they go into this bad boy back here.
It's called a kiln, and it uses steam to make the oats delicious for humans and to last longer in the pantry.
Now the oats can go to one of two places. They can either go to the steel cutters where you get steel cut oats, or they come to the flaker where they get put between two big huge rollers and squished flat like a pancake. Well, not a real pancake, but a pancake oat.
So the oats come down through the flaker. Then they go through an aerator where they get a bunch of air blown all around them.
So now our oats are flaked and they look like this. And then they come all the way down from there into this guy where they get filled. Then they come down this conveyor line. Then a robot puts them on a pallet. But that's a Quick Dick sized bag of oats there. You only need one this big if you have a stomach the size of Quick Dick. Let's go see some of the smaller Little Quick packaging.
The little packages get filled just like the big ones.
Now they're gonna make their way to the shipping department. Then they go into a box. Then the box gets taped shut. Then a robot puts the box on a pallet and it gets shrink wrapped. Then the pallet makes its way to the warehouse where it waits to get loaded up on. On one of those guys!
Step 4, the trucker. Remember the trucker was step 2 as well?
Now they get to hit the highway. So now we follow that truck right down a highway like this, and it makes its way to a warehouse.
Now you're like, Quick Dick, what do you mean they get taken to a warehouse? Well, a grocery store doesn't need a whole pallet full of oats, they only need a couple of cases. So the job of the warehouse is to take a couple of cases of the oats, along with a couple of cases of all the other different kinds of foods that the grocery store needs, and put them on a mixed pallet.
So then another big truck brings the mixed pallet to grocery stores all over the place where they unload it into a door like this.
Step 5, the grocery store.
Then after they get unloaded at the grocery store, they get taken out and put on shelves by a grocery store worker. Well, hey, now we know how oats get to the grocery store where we buy them.
And now back to cooking with Quick Dick.
Oh man, who knew it took that many different people to get oats to our grocery store? All right, well, we've got 2/3 of a cup of oats. Now it's time to add a half teaspoon of cinnamon, an 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, and an 1/8 of a teaspoon of ginger.
Half a teaspoon of cinnamon, which comes from the inner bark of a cinnamon tree. One-eighth teaspoon of nutmeg, which also comes from a tree, but from the seed of a tree. 1/8 teaspoon of ginger, which is grown underground just like a potato, but tastes way different.
Hey, thanks, little quicks. You sure do know your spices. Those spices are typically grown in bulk in tropical regions, and we grow oats in bulk here in Saskatchewan. Does that mean it's important to trade with each other as countries?
Exactly, Quick Dick.
Huh, neat. Okay, we're gonna need one more dry ingredient, a tablespoon of hemp seeds.
1 tablespoon of hemp seeds. Did you know hemp seeds are grown right here in Saskatchewan and are full of healthy fats and protein?
Grown in Saskatchewan? Hey, I like that, but what if I don't have hemp seeds?
You can use chia seeds or milled flax seeds too.
Well, that's all our dry ingredients. Let's put a lid on that. And then let's switch over to our wet ingredients. We are gonna need 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree.
1/4 cup of pumpkin puree. Did you know that there are almost 6,000 hectares of pumpkins farmed right here in Canada?
Hey, that's pretty cool, and that's a lot of pumpkins. Okay, now we're gonna need 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1 tablespoon of maple syrup.
1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Did you know Canada produces 71% of the world's maple syrup?
Hey, that's a lot of maple syrup. But how do you get maple syrup?
It comes from the boiling sap of maple trees.
From boiling the sap of maple trees. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's move on to our last wet ingredient. We are gonna need 1/2 cup of milk.
1/2 cup of milk. Hey, Quick Dick, did you know that all of our milk comes from dairy cows right here in Saskatchewan?
Hey, that's neat that it comes from Saskatchewan.
Did you know that milk has 16 essential nutrients? And you can tell if your milk is Canadian from the maple leaf on the carton.
Huh! Quick Dick's gonna have to keep an eye out for that maple leaf on the carton. Okay, that's all of our ingredients. So let's make sure that both lids are on very, very tight, or else this can turn into a messy situation because we're gonna shake them. All right, now we are going to take the dry ingredients and dump them into the wet ingredients. And push that little guy out of the way. Put the lid back on and make sure it's on tight so it doesn't get messy because we are going to shake it again!
Then you take them and you put them in the fridge overnight. Then the next morning you take it out of the fridge. Then you spread on 2 tablespoons of vanilla yogurt, just like it's whipped cream. Oh, then Quick Dick likes to put a couple of pecans on the top of it. Oh yeah, that's gonna be good. Oh, that one for Quick Dick. And if you're like Quick Dick and you absolutely love cinnamon, you can just put a tiny little pinch on the top of it. Perfect! Then comes the best part. We get to eat them! Aren't those delicious? If it takes this much oats to feed Quick Dick once, I wonder how many oats it takes to feed the world.
It takes a lot, Quick Dick. It takes a lot.
It looks like it, Quick Dick. It looks like it. This has been Cooking with Quick Dick. Make sure to tune in next time where we learn how to make hamburgers with Saskatchewan beef.
Oh man, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with Quick Dick. It sure was fun to get to learn about oats with all of you little quicks. Now, before we go, should we go over the 3 rules that you must follow in order to be a certified little quick?
Share what you got with others.
Thank you.
Be proud of where you're from.
You're all learning the rules so good. This is Quick Dick McDick signing off, reminding you, you can be tall, short, thin, or thick, but there's always room to be a certified little quick. Catch you next time.